We got to be successful. We have to be successful. The real the difference in coaching is not talent or personality or pride or ambition. It's about believing in someone and then doing whatever it takes to help that person be the very best he can be. And I could sense that in the program. I was up there to see Laurie's plays with Brownie up there, and to see the organization and to see the care that they have for people. And that's all these kids want. That's all they want. Yeah, the best players I ever had, the walk-ons. I never worried about the stars. I never worried about Bradley Van Pelt. He was going to get me in trouble as it was. I worried about these other guys that are coming up, that are given the ones that make the program go. All of us, and you guys out there, you gentlemen out there, I should say, in business, it's the janitor. He's as important as that person sitting across in the aisle. When I got the job at CSU, I can still remember the janitor. I think he just retired. He said, "Well, I'm leaving, he's leaving," but he lasted a couple more years, etc. But anyway, he'd come in every Thursday and start telling me about how come his nephew wasn't playing. He'd ask me that. I said, "Hey, you don't tell me how to do my job, I won't tell you how to do yours." And that's it. And I always go back to Vince Lombardi, and I would talk to our coaches. X and O coaches are a dime a dozen. See, that's all we coaches did. X and O, we draw up X and O, we draw up all this strategy. We can do this, we can do that. We don't care about those people. I want the coach that gets the best out of his players. How do we get the best out of our players? How do each one of us do that? And it's about teaching him and telling him and helping him how to do it. As Ken Blanchard says, catch them doing something good. I remember when I was in grammar school at Holy Savior in Butte, Montana, the nuns always seemed to catch me doing something bad. I don't know. I think it's the new philosophy. Catch them. I used to tell our coaches, go down there and catch them doing something good. Praise them. Why as bosses, as people of business, why are we afraid to go in there and tell the people how good they're doing, how well they're doing? It doesn't cost us a thing, and we get so much more out of them. I was talking to the ladies over here at this table, a true story. I was a high school basketball coach as well as football, and this back in Butte, Montana, and we would play our games, and as the games, we'd have a 7 o'clock game, and the game would be an hour before. We'd be out there warming up, and then we'd go into the locker just prior to going out for the tip off, and the coach, the people at the scoring table would say, "Coach, what is your starting lineup going to be tonight?" And I'd go I have two managers. I said, "Go out there and see which mothers are there." And that's a true story. The kid, I had my 14 little freshmen there out there playing, ready to go, and I said, "Boys," I said, "your mom's not here, but Charlie's, yours is, you're starting tonight." I'm not getting those mothers mad at me, and I know that. If I ever had to do again, if I could ever start coaching again, I would hire all women. Once they get after you, it's all over. It is all over. You will win it. The guys shrug their shoulder. Okay, we'll live with it. Not the moms. Not the moms. You fool with them. Failure isn't fatal, and success isn't forever. And that's what all of us have some of that. Can't be afraid to fail. And I think that's the problem with most people. They were afraid to fail. And because when we are afraid to fail, we become a shell of ourselves. We can't do anything, and we can't make mistakes. But I really think that, we think I can remember the success that we had at CSU. I knew it wasn't going to last forever. Maybe everybody else thought it was. I knew things. We have our ups and downs. Every businessman out there knows that we have our ups and downs, and you can't make mistakes. And that's one of the things I always told our secretaries over there. I had a great secretary, great girls who did all the work. And I remember Linda, I was out recruiting here maybe about 6, 7 years ago, and I said, "Linda, one of the car dealers in town here, I'm not going to name any names here, they're having a grand opening. They're opening a new store. And it's going to be something real nice. All these guys have been very supportive to our program. Do you think we could get some flowers sent out there and congratulating them on on their new store that's opening up. And she said, oh, you know, fast. She's got the other phone ringing, doing, yeah, I'll take care of it. I'll do this, I'll do that. I'm on the road. This is Friday. So I fly back in Friday night, and Saturday morning on the way back into work, I stop by. I stopped by the dealership, and there's this new dealership. It just looks so nice with all these shiny new cars and a lot of flowers around the outsides there. Other people have sent flowers, etc. And I'm in there looking at the cars. I stand there for 10 minutes. I'm kind of looking to see if Linda got our bouquet out there, and I look over, I see one from Sunny Lubick. It says, a beautiful, beautiful bouquet of the sash around there. May you rest in peace. I jump in the car and get on the phone. I call the flower shop, and I said, "What the heck are you doing? Did you understand what the hell you did there? This is embarrassing." He says, "Sonny, you think you got problems? Someplace in a mortuary in town, there's a great bouquet and a sash that says good luck in your new location." And so we have got to. We can't make mistakes. That is a thing. So, and lastly, before I leave you, I'll say this. I heard this from Lori when I was over. I heard this from Brownie. I know from my experience, we learn more from our students than they learn from us. We learn so much more. As I look back at all the players that I had an opportunity to coach and to see them sacrifice and to see the things that they've gone through just to be a part of a team, to be a part of something, and especially those young men, those walk-ons, those 30 or 40 walk-ons, probably 30 every year, that came in the 1st of July, got up every morning and ran every morning with no scholarship, no training table, no extra, because NC2A rules would not allow that, but they gave everything they could to be a part of something good. Just think of our community, if we could, not expecting anything in return, and again, that's what sacrifice is giving a little bit, and giving a little bit when it hurts a little bit. And those are the people that I'll never forget. I just go through my last football team. We had some good ones. We've had some in between, but they were all great. I love those kids. I just, every one of them, just like you people, like Lori loves her, the teachers up there, you love those guys. I can remember our last season there, we had I thought, to me, it was a good football team. To you guys, get rid of the coach. Just kidding you. But I remember we went up and played CU, and we lost in an overtime game up there, and you know, CU, and we'd like to beat them just for principle, just for drill. And we came home the next week. We played University of California here in Fort Collins, and they were ranked 6th in the nation. Our kids just played their hearts out, and we lose that game. I think it was 20-14. It was a six-point game or something like that. We lose that game, and then things kind of snowballed, and we lost a few more. Then we got good toward the end of the season. But the point is, adversity. We had some tough breaks along the way. We lost about 4 close games, nothing over 7 points almost through most of the year. Come back and win our last 3 football games. And the thing I admire about those gentlemen or those players, they never gave up. They never quit because they believed in their coaches, they believed in their school, they believed in their community. And I say this in closing, I think time's about up for me, is every team has standouts. Every organization has standouts. We just don't like them when they try to stand out. Mm-hmm. And when a star acts like a regular guy, the regular guys feel like a star. And so in closing, remember, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And best wishes to Community Outreach. Thanks for having me, and let's help this community be the best it can be. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I've had the so many times, and I always, my takeaway is he's a man of character, and we're glad he's one of us. Thanks again, Sonny. Carrie Busby, come on up here. Now, Carrie has shared with me she doesn't do a lot of public speaking. But we want to make her comfortable in this role because she was one of the success stories, one of the many success stories at the Center for Family Outreach. And Carrie is a caseworker in Loveland for the Center for Family Outreach. And she's got an inspiring story. So we've been informed by Lori, inspired by Sunny, and now I think you're probably going to play with a few heartstrings. Carrie Busby, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, thank you, Bill. As you all heard, I'm Carrie Busby, and I'm a center at the case manager. I'm at the case manager at the center in the Loveland office. I've had the opportunity to see in full circle the benefits these kids receive here at the center and how effective and much needed these services are. Not only as a current employee, but also as an adolescent coming through the center when I was a teenager. When I was 16 years old, I received a ticket for drinking and I was sent to the center to complete girls' classes. I was the first group to ever go through the center. I was at a point in my life where I didn't care about anything. I think most teenagers reach a point in their life where their future doesn't matter to them at all. All they think about is the here and now, and that was me. I thought I was invincible. I knew from the moment I met Lori that she genuinely cared about everyone there. She was so invested in all of us, and each week I went there, I had the opportunity to get to know her as she got to know us. It was nice to be able to go somewhere where you could talk about your problems with other people other than your friends and your family. I came from a good single-parent household where my mom worked all day and went to classes at night. That left me plenty of time to hang out with my friends. Going to the center made me realize I was going down a path that wasn't for me. I had no one to look up to besides my mother, and she was always busy trying to provide for us. The only other people I had were my friends who were doing all the same things that I was. Even though I had to attend classes at the center, I always enjoyed going and talking with Lori and the other girls I met through the classes. I remember thinking that some of these girls in the classes really needed help. Their family life was either non-existent or they were living with an abusive family. I remember thinking, I feel so bad for some of these girls. I can remember that Lori was the most selfless and caring woman who was and still is today devoted to helping kids who were struggling all through the teenage years. I remember thinking that this lady really cares about what's going on in our lives. It was a nice feeling to know that some stranger actually really cared to take time out of their own day to help us with all of our crazy teenage girls. After completing my classes, I still faced struggles. I moved out on my own at 17, and by 19 I found out I was pregnant. After I found out, it made me look at my life and where I was going with it. I decided to leave my longtime boyfriend and become a mother on my own. I knew leaving was the best decision I could have faced to have a better future with my daughter. I knew I had to get my life together. By 20, I had my beautiful daughter, and shortly after, I began working with Project Self-Sufficiency. For those of you who are not familiar with Project Self-Sufficiency, it's a nonprofit in Larimer County that assists low-income, single parents in their efforts to build and maintain strong families, achieve economic independence, and become free from community and government assistance. While working with PSS, I enrolled in college and graduated from Front Range Community College with my associates. From then, I went to CSU and got my bachelor's degree in social work. I had an amazing advisor who helped me through the ups and downs of being a single mother. From the moment I learned I was pregnant, I started to think about my future and what I wanted to do with my life. Through my time as a teenager here at the center, and later working with PSS, I knew my calling in life was to help people in need. I've always had the devotion that I wanted to help others, but I didn't know how. It wasn't until I was older that I knew I wanted to help kids who were just like me. Through all the great services from the center that I had received, I feel that everyone is worthy of having the same services and opportunities as they are struggling. Through working with the center and PSS, I learned a lot about myself and how to deal with struggles that I have faced. I have overcome a lot in my life, and I have achieved a lot of my goals that I have set thus far. In college, I wasn't sure what my future held, but I was certain what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to work with struggling kids who were just like me. I knew that the only way I could do that was to get a degree in social work. It has been a hard and challenging road from where I started to where I am today, but that only motivates me to work harder and reach farther. Today, I can proudly say that I'm living out my dream by working with these amazing kids here at the center. I can honestly say that I'm living out my dream. I have a wonderful significant other and beautiful daughter now. I'm very thankful to the center and PSS for where I am today. It's because of these agencies that allow kids and young mothers the opportunity to be successful. As a case manager at the center, every day I'm rewarded by doing the things that I love. I see myself in some of them, and I see the high need in others that have been dealt a bad hand in life. I see their struggles every day. I remember the teenage years as being difficult when I was younger, but I can't even begin to imagine how hard some of these kids have it today. I had a home and a caring family, and I just chose to be a rebellious child, probably more than my mother would have liked. Some of these kids I have today on my caseload, I can see that their families are so disengaged on what's going on with their kids' life, or they just don't care. This makes me work harder to ensure that when they're with us here at the center, that they get the help and the resources that they need for the kids, but also the parents too. These are all amazing kids with many different talents who just need to be given a chance at life. And that's what the center does for them. We give them a chance that nobody else does. We provide support for the kids as well as their families. I see these kids today and I can relate with what they're going through. I've been in their shoes and I know how they feel. I can empathize with them. But more importantly, I can help them acknowledge and achieve their goals and help them become who they want to be. I remember after my first session of teaching classes here at the center, I was amazed at the response I received from my kids. Some of them didn't want to be done with the program, and some of them told me how much I had helped them. Seeing the bond that these kids had grown with each other and also with me, I was amazed. Every day I'm thankful for that I have this wonderful job in working with these amazing kids. Just as much as I teach them, I'm always amazed at what they teach me. When you're working in a field like this, the gratification you get comes directly from the client population you serve. I never imagined how good it would make me feel to know that I have helped someone who needed it. I never would have thought that someday I would be working for the person who helped me so much and giving me the opportunity to do what she did for me for other kids. It really is full circle. Looking back, being one of the first girls to go through the center almost 12 years ago, and now working here as a case manager, providing the same services that Lori did to me to others. I have seen myself firsthand what we do at the center, and I can honestly tell you it's amazing and it does work. I have seen the program from the kids' perspective, and now I see it through a case manager's perspective. I bring in that experience with me every day to work to better communicate and understand where these kids are coming from.